Sheena Ringo, we are continuing listening through to singles by this amazing artist, trying to get a little idea for the eras of her career, and then probably I think after this I might start jumping into doing track by track listen throughs, going through her albums one song at a time. I do that with some artists, and I'm kind of feeling tempted to do that with Sheena Ringo. It's something I've put out there as an idea, so hopefully you guys have already been commenting below videos and letting me know, but that's something I'm thinking about doing. Anyway, today we're going to be checking out this song, which is called Kabukicho no Jo, which basically means Queen of Kabukicho. And this is going to be an interesting one. Let's have a look here. This is, I believe, this was her second ever single. Okay. And yeah, so this is going back a little while. And I'm hoping to therefore see quite a different side of her because, as you guys know, at the current moment, before jumping into doing album track by track listen throughs, I've just been kind of going through her YouTube page with like the popular button on and then just scouring up and down and occasionally picking songs out of this randomly. Anyway, this song, second single as it may be, it is more than 12 years old. I know it's just when it was uploaded to YouTube because her career significantly outdates YouTube. Yeah. It's got 29 million views, so obviously a lot of people really like this. And, well, we're going to find out a little bit more about it by listening to it. Anyway, when it comes to Kabukicho, Kabukicho is an interesting place. So Kabukicho is a place where, and this is in Tokyo, in Shinjuku, in case you don't know. It's an area where I know that its reputation has changed significantly over the years. I mean, nowadays, Kabukicho is a place that I don't usually go to because I think it's kind of become very touristy, and I'm not being try hard by saying, don't go to touristy places, but it does really feel like it's more set up to be like a drinking theme park than to be kind of an active place, although it is still quite active. And then like about 10 or 15, well, more like 15 years ago, I remember every time I walked around there, it was pretty seedy, like pretty... there was a lot of people going up to you and soliciting things. It's an area that has a history relating to drinking and, shall we say, underground, seedy kind of places. So it's rather ripe for a bit of song interest. And, doing a song called Queen of Kabukicho, well, that definitely gives us an interesting place to go with this. But anyway, let's check it out. This is Sheena Ringo's second single. So I'm expecting to see young Sheena Ringo here, which is going to be rather intriguing. Anyway, let's have a little listen to this. The oldest song I'd heard prior to this, I think, is Gips. Actually, I say that. I had also reacted to this song. No, so I hadn't reacted. I had heard this song outside of the reaction channel. I don't know. Is this one older? Is this the first single? Anyway, I don't know. This is a while ago when I heard that. Look, I'm just sort of saying stuff now. Let's jump in, have a listen to this song, and then we'll talk about this song and move on from there. I'm loving the old school vibe. I know this song. I've heard this song. I don't know where, but I've definitely heard this song. Having that little kind of funky backbeat feel to it is really nice. It's kind of got this slightly dark and sinister and yet funky vibe. Early key change. I love the way her voice is coming across in this as well, actually. I forgot about this bit. Yeah, I definitely recognise this song. I probably just heard it walking around. Yeah, the video's giving me an idea for where the edgy image comes from. That's nice. Fantastic. That was that was superb on so many levels. You've got to pick your frame carefully when selecting where to put the video on this one. This was fantastic on so many levels. I mean, first things first, we have to take it for the era this came out in like the late 90s, am I right? No copyright info. Oh yeah, 1998. Came out on my birthday in 1998 as well. Wait, you can't see that, but you would, and you don't know when my birthday is, so I don't think you care, but there we go. Came out on my birthday in 1998. Thank you, Sheena Ringo. So yeah, this came out on the day that I turned 13 years old. Wonderful. I will say, in all honesty, though, this was a song that for me, of course, first we have to look at it as being in that era. So much as obviously we've had so much development in music since then, and so many things that maybe have been done before have become more commonplace now. But when I listen to this, I hear a song that both has a sound that at the time I think would have been quite sort of modern, has slightly edgy, catchy, sort of more almost punkish vibe to it. There's nothing punk about the way the song's written, but there's a kind of a punkishness to the attitude. Funny enough, I put it on this frame, but you can even see it in like the little collar she's wearing and everything. And you've got all of those aspects in there. But at the same time, the song is obviously drawing from a 60s-esque rock and roll kind of skip that was very popular actually in Japan in the 90s. There was a lot of other artists who were doing songs that had like a bit of inspiration from 60s style rock and roll. And so she's doing that, but she's taking it in this very dark place, which I think is quite cool. I mean, I know that a lot of her popularity was built on the fact that she sort of came out as this artist who was willing to speak about and talk about and express things that maybe would have been more taboo for other artists that maybe weren't normally sung about by women. And so the video as well kind of really leans into this aspect, and there's this whole thing, the whole Kabukicho-esque story, and all of this is very much in keeping with the impression I have of this woman who hit the music scene with a style of songwriting that was accessible, likable, that anyone could just listen to and go, wow, that's really good music. But it was all underpinned with a slightly more edgy, controversial, and engagingly risque quality. And so you've got something which is both familiar, very old school, and yet at the same time kind of a bit more modern, a bit more pushing that kind of envelope and things like this. What I would say really was also very interesting to me about this was that the song structure, it did take advantage of a lot of the things. Also, my phone was right by the microphone and it started making noise, so I'm just going to put that to one side. It was a song that very much had a... It took that sort of more old school rock and roll formula, and it did some interesting things with it. Like I liked the second verse key change. That's something that we don't hear of much these days, but was more common, I think, in like 60s style rock and roll. So she's got that. So you get a key change immediately in the second verse, which does kind of like bring things, sort of push things forwards and give it the song a sense of that it's really building up rather than repeating. The little whistling solo, I really like that. That was so old school and kind of unexpected. But again, I'm sure I've heard this song somewhere. I'll get into that in a minute. But it's got all of these qualities, and it wraps its entire runtime up in less than 3 minutes, but so rewardingly. It's one of those songs that's short because it only needs to be short, because it doesn't need to do anything more than what it does. And what it does efficiently. It gets a lot packed into its runtime. It stays entertaining and never gets boring or repetitive. It's got an interesting melody that develops and builds. Everything just flows nice and naturally in it. I just thought this was a quintessential example of how to do a rock and roll song with a twist that makes it feel worthwhile. and yet at the same time also with a kind of classic likability. Now, talking about hearing this, of course, I often say to people, it's kind of hard. Sorry, I know this sounds really edgelord. Apologies. It's really hard for me to remember exactly what it's like on a day-to-day basis living outside of Japan. It's been so many years. But the one thing I do remember was always a culture shock when I first came to Japan was the fact that when you walk around, you hear music everywhere. And it's usually Japanese music, which is great. I love that Japan actually loves its own music. Obviously, they have a big market for overseas music as well, but they really love their own music. And so you hear a lot of music like over like the radio. You're walking around shops, you're walking through shopping malls. You're at a gig, waiting for a gig to start, and you're just kind of there. You get in, the doors open. You have like your half hour before the first stage time, and you're just having drinks and chatting to people. And there'll be music playing over the speakers there. So you're kind of always hearing music wherever you go, and that sometimes means that when I do reactions, especially to particularly legendary artists, I'll hear a song and go, I've heard this somewhere and I don't know where. And this is one of those ones where I imagine this has probably been something I've heard maybe in a shopping mall. Given that it's more edgy in Shiina, although it's a big popular hit. Given that it's more edgy though, I'm probably going to suspect that I might have heard this in a live house either before or after the actual bands went on. But I got to be honest, I immediately, when I realised that I'd heard this song before, it hit me with like a nice feeling. I don't know why. Again, I don't know exactly what in my memory I associate this with, but I just remember thinking, yeah, I like that. I don't know why, but this is a song that comes on and occasionally you hear it and it's nice. And it just kind of like feels good when it comes on. So that's a very vague thing to say, but I just wanted to sort of like convey that I have this kind of vague memory of this song, but like a positive association with it for whatever reason. I enjoyed this though. It's certainly given me a better idea. I've just realised though, because I was about to say that after this one, I'm thinking that the next thing you might see from me, I might start diving in and doing the track by track listen throughs now. But I was going to say that my intention was to start with the first album. I just realised if this is the second single, it's probably, it's on the first album. Oh, crikey. Didn't think that through. I hope this is track one, because if this is track one, then I'm just going to say, hey, we started our track by track listen through. Have a little look. This is scrolling back. Oh, there it is. I'm just going to quickly see if that is actually track one on the album or not. Something tells me it might not be. It's not. Okay. Because, sorry, I had to close the screen to avoid adverts, but yeah, so it's not track one. Where is it? It's track two. Damn it. Okay, we listen to track 2 first. What do you guys think? Should we jump in and listen to the album now? Should we start with the debut album? I think it'd be that. I enjoyed what we just heard. Was Gibbs on this album as well? Because then I've spoiled 2 songs. No, Gibbs is on the next album. Okay, cool. Well, there you go. Those are my thoughts. As always, get in the comments. Tell me what you think. And until I hopefully see you very soon for the next one of these. For now. Ciao, ciao.